In this lesson, we're going to configure Sheetcam to match our Mach 3 machine size, which in this case is 24 square material centered in a 24.5 square safe zone, shifted left and down by 1/4, so the origin is at the corner of the material. First we go to Application Option, Units, and make sure these are set to what we normally use. And in particular, time has to be either seconds or milliseconds if Mach 3 is configured to use millisecond time. In this case it is not, so time is in seconds. And then we go to Machine Options and set the working envelope to match our safe zone, which is 24.5 square, offset left and down by 1/4. And then table display can be the same thing, or it could be bigger. That's just for visual reference. The working envelope is what makes the coordinates the same. And then for a post processor, we'll just use Mach 3 plasma since we don't have torch height control yet. Then I can have jobs that use the maximum material size with the corner at the machine origin. And for this example, I made rapid clearance 1. And I have a tool named 16 gauge for my plasma cutter, which is tool number 0. And these settings would be what I would use for 16 gauge. But I just made up some values of 100 inches per minute, 0.5 second pierce delay, 0.1 pierce height, 20 inch per minute plunge rate, and 0.05 cut height. So we can recognize these numbers in the G code. And I imported a DXF of a 12-inch square centered in a 24-inch material, so my G code should have those same coordinates. I have a jet cutter operation to assign that tool to that layer. And when I run the post processor, I can examine the G code to make sure it came out right. It sets units to inches, cancels work offsets, sets absolute coordinates, sets incremental IJK for arcs, and turns cutter compensation off. And then it sets feed rate to 1 and spindle to 500, which doesn't do anything. And then it does a tool change for tool 0 and sets feed rate to 100. It moves Z to the safe Z and then moves to 6, 6, where the square starts. And then it moves Z to the pierce height and then issues M3 to trigger the torch. And then it waits for the specified dwell time. But if we have the Enable THC toggle button on in Mach 3, then after the M3 command, it will wait for the arc OK signal. Then when the torch is triggered, it moves Z to the cut height at 20 inches per minute, and then it proceeds to cut up 12 inches, to the right 12 inches, and down 12 inches at 100 inches per minute. And then it turns the torch off and goes to Z safe height and stops and rewinds the program. So the coordinates match, and that should work.